Hi, honey, I said, bustling over the stovetop. How was your day?
He ignored me.
He threw down his briefcase and got a beer from the fridge. The same as always. Is dinner ready yet? I pointed to the timer ticking on the kitchen counter. The meatloaf needed another 20 minutes. I think the correct phrase is, "What's cookin' good lookin'?" I joked. Look, I've had a long day, he sighed, draining his beer. Just come get me when it's ready. I will, honey, I said. After dinner. I have a surprise for you. Whatever. And with that, he retreated upstairs to play video games. Supper seemed to be all he cared about these days. So long as he was fed, he appeared to want nothing else to do with me. I tried to get him to talk to me. Something was clearly bothering him. He just wouldn't open up. But that was all right. Once dinner was ready, I hollered up the stairs that it was time to eat. The spread was immaculate. Roast cauliflower with lemongrass and shallot. Jacket potatoes with garlic confit. And for the main course, a beautiful meatloaf, my own recipe. His favorite. I thought he might even notice. Instead, he simply began eating without even looking at his plate, his eyes glued to his phone. But that was all right. After 15 minutes of silence broken only by the sounds of chewing, I spoke up. So, how's the meatloaf? I asked. Good, he grunted. Curious about your surprise? I asked, smiling. Want a hint? What do you want from me, Rose? He scoffed, plating another ketchupy slice. I didn't forget your birthday, did I? His words stung, but I tried not to let it show. I'd been silently rehearsing what I was about to say for hours. Actually, I wanted to talk to you, I said, about the baby. He stopped chewing for a moment, his jaw set. He always wanted to be a father, but 6 months ago, I'd miscarried at 20 weeks. The doctors told me we shouldn't try again. I told you before that I didn't want to talk about it.
But I do, I said.
She was my baby, too. If you can't give me a child, he said, popping the last of his meatloaf in his mouth, then we have nothing more to talk ABOW. He'd bitten down on something so hard, he nearly cracked a tooth. As he gingerly pulled the thing from between his lips, he shuddered, unable to comprehend what he was seeing. Is that? He asked softly. I nodded. There's leftovers in the freezer if you're still hungry. A belly button ring. The kind his mistress wore. He clutched his mouth in horror, staring at me with more passion than he had in months. Is this it, you crazy bitch? He cried. Is this the surprise? Of course not, I replied, pleased that I finally had his attention. She was pregnant.